Okay, today we're going to be doing Module 2, Lesson 21. This will be our last lesson of Module 2. The objective of today's lesson is to estimate sums and differences of measurement by rounding and then solve mixed word problems. So you will need your online whiteboard or whiteboard dry erase marker and dry eraser for today's lesson. And we're going to follow a little bit of a different teaching style since it's kind of a review lesson. First, I'm going to start with the fluency. I want you to count by threes until you get to 30, but instead of us counting together, I want you to write your skip count on your whiteboard and then hold it up to the screen. Okay, so I'll give you a couple of minutes to count by threes until you get to 30, and then go ahead and hold it up so I can mark you off as participating. Okay, if you haven't finished your skip count yet, just go ahead and hold up what you have so far so that I can mark you down as participating. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at what this skip count should have looked like on your whiteboard, counting by threes until you get to 30. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. Okay. Go ahead and erase your whiteboard. And I did say our teaching style is going to be a little bit different today. We're going to do both of the word problems today together, okay? Because everything that we're doing today is something we have already done before. So we're just going to kind of bring it all together in these word problems. This one we're doing is going to be an addition one, and the next example will be a subtraction one, okay? So this says, Roger drinks water at every meal. At breakfast, he drinks 237 milliliters. At lunch, he drinks 300 milliliters. At dinner, he drinks 177 milliliters. Estimate to the nearest hundreds how much water he drinks during the day. Okay, so we have three numbers. We have 237 plus 300 plus 177. And we want to estimate how much he drinks during the day to the nearest hundreds place. Now, here's how what we're going to do today is going to be a little bit different. We have talked about this before, but we haven't used it very much. The balloon method. So you know how to do the vertical number line. We've practiced that many, many times. So I want to, before you get to the test, give you another strategy to practice. So we're going to practice the balloon. Now remember, we were holding the balloon, and if we let go, the balloon goes up, which means we round up. If we're still holding the balloon, even if it's only with one finger, it stays in our hand and we round down, okay, because the balloon stays down. So first, we're going to be rounding to the nearest hundreds. So for this first number, we're going to look in the hundreds place, and it's 200. Okay, so we're going to hold our balloon, and we're going to start counting at 200. And now you see we have 3 tens. So we're going to be counting by tens once we get to that 3 tens, okay, which is 230. We're going to stop and see if we're holding our balloon still, okay? So rounding to the nearest hundreds, holding your balloon. Start at 200. Ready? 200, 210, 220, 230. Okay? And if we go to 240, we know that 237 is somewhere in between those two numbers, but we're still holding our balloon. Okay? We're still holding our balloon, which means we round down because the balloon stays down. So we're going to round down to that 200 that we started at. Okay? The next number is 300. That's already rounded to the nearest hundred, so that's pretty easy. We'll just add that on. And next we have 177. We're rounding to the nearest hundred, so we look in the hundreds place and we have 100. Let's hold our balloon and we're going to start counting at 100. We're going to count by tens. Okay, and we know 177 is somewhere between 170 and 180. Okay, let's count by 10, starting at 100. 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150. We've not gotten to 170 yet, but what happened to our balloon? We let go. Our balloon went up. So it goes up to the next 100. Well, we started counting at 100. The next 100 would be 200s because 1 plus 1 is 200s. So this number is going to round up to 200. Now don't forget, this is just another strategy, okay, that you're doing with me. If it's still confusing to you, we're going to practice it one more time, but if you're still confused, don't forget you can always do your vertical number line to help you, okay? So right now we have 200 plus 300 plus 200. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stack them and add them using my standard algorithm. Okay, start in the ones. 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 0. 2 plus 3 is 5. Plus 2 more is 7. So, how much water does he drink during the day? He drinks about 700 milliliters. Okay, let's go ahead and erase your whiteboard. And we have one more example. This time it is going to be subtraction. There are 150 milliliters of juice in one carton. A 3-pack of juice boxes contains a total of 459 milliliters. Estimate to the nearest tens the difference between a 3-pack of juice and a carton. Okay, so we need to estimate the difference. Since we're doing subtraction, our big number needs to be first. 459 minus 153 is about, we're going to be rounding to the nearest tens place. So we're going to use that same balloon method, except now rounding to the nearest tens. So let's look at our tens place here. We have a 5 in the tens place, but we're going to keep the 4 with it. So this is like 45 tens. Okay? And 45 tens is the same as 450. Okay? So we're going to start at 450. Since we're rounding to the nearest tens, this time we're going to be counting by the ones until we get to 459. So hold your balloon, start at 450. Ready? 450, 451, 452, 453, 454, 455. So we haven't gotten to 459 yet, but we already let go of our balloon, which means we're going to be rounding up. Okay? We're going to round up to the next 10. So we started at 45 tens. One more 10 would be 46 tens. So we're going to round up to 46 tens. Okay, now let's go ahead and do 153. There's a 5 in the tens place, but we're going to keep the hundreds and do 15 tens. So we're going to start at 15 tens, count by ones until we get to 153. 150, 151, 152, 153. We still are holding our balloon, which means the balloon stays down. So we're going to stay right at our 15 tens that we started with. Okay, so now all that's left to do is stack it and subtract it. 460 minus 150. I'm going to give you a minute to message me the answer to this problem and go Guardian. 460 minus 150. Okay, so we should have done 0 minus 0 in the ones, which is 0. 6 tens minus 5 tens, which leaves us with 1 10. 4 hundreds minus 100 is 3 hundreds. So, what is the difference between a 3-pack of juice and the juice in one carton? The difference is about 310 milliliters. Okay, so now we are at the part where you are going to be working on your homework alone. It's IXL skill P12, estimate sums and differences word problems. Okay, so it's going to give you different word problems. First, you'll have to figure out if you're adding or subtracting, and then you'll have to do your rounding. Okay, so this one, it doesn't tell you what to round here, but you can see that it's got 2 zeros. Okay, so we know it's rounded to the nearest hundred. So this one would be rounding to the nearest hundreds. If your number ends in just 1 0, then you know you would be rounding to the nearest 10. Okay? So you do have a lot more time today to work than you normally do, and that's just because these can take a little bit longer. Okay? So go ahead and get started.